Welcome to the deep dive. We're zeroing in on La Liga today, giving you the inside track on two really interesting upcoming matches.
Yeah, we've got Getafe versus Athletic Bilbao on May 15th.
And then Real Sociedad against Girona on the 18th.
Exactly. And our aim, well, it's to pull out those crucial tactical nuggets, and the AI-powered insights, too.
Right, so you can understand these games maybe a bit better than before. We'll unpack team form, the injury situation, always important, and what our SmartBet AI model is telling us for both games.
Yeah, and we've got some really detailed analysis behind this, like AI model outputs, injury reports, even a bit of historical context, just trying to grasp the dynamics.
And for you, the listener, this is kind of your shortcut to the key info. You'll quickly get the main factors shaping these matches.
Plus, you get a look at how data science is actually used in pro sports.
And hey, if you're interested in responsible betting, maybe it offers an informed angle. But always the disclaimer. Be smart, manage your limits.
Right. So let's get straight into it. That first match, Getafe versus Athletic Bilbao at the Coliseum Alfonso Pérez.
Yeah, this feels like it could be a tense one. Getafe, always tough at home, trying to finish strong.
And Athletic Bilbao, obviously pushing for those European spots.
And the suspensions and injuries, they add a real layer of intrigue, don't they?
Definitely complicates things for both sides.
The forecast is looking cool, partly cloudy, light northeast wind. Pretty standard conditions, really.
And the ref, Guillermo Fernandez. Apparently not super card happy.
Okay, that's interesting, especially with depleted squads. Let's talk injuries then. Getafe first.
Yeah, Getafe. They've got some significant defensive issues. Juan de Barracol and Mauro Ambari are suspended. That hurts their stability.
Definitely.
But the big one probably is Jean. He's out with that red card until the 25th.
Oh, wow. Losing Jean is huge. He's not just a defender. He's like their defensive organizer.
Exactly. That's a massive gap.
Yeah.
And losing a Ambari in midfield, too. He's often the one dictating things, shielding the back four.
So it's not just individuals, it's their whole structure that's impacted.
Right.
Okay, what about Athletic? They've got issues too, right?
Yeah, they haven't escaped it. Alex Berenguer and Andoni Grospel are out, card accumulation.
Okay.
But the really big blow for Bilbao, I think, has to be Inaki Williams. Hamstring injury.
Ah, Inaki. That's massive. His pace, that direct threat on the break.
Totally. Losing him forces them to change things up front.
So how do you think that changes their attack? Without that, explosive speed.
Well, it really alters their profile. They likely have to rely more on, say, Ohen Senseta's creativity, Nico Williams's...
Still dangerous players, of course.
Oh, absolutely. But it changes how they transition, how they operate in the final third, maybe more build-up play needed, less directness.
Right, okay. Let's switch to the data then. What are the SmartBet AI predictions saying for this one?
Okay, so SmartBet AI gives Athletic Club a pretty clear ELO rating advantage. They're at 1620.85. Getafe's down at 1507.61.
For anyone maybe not familiar, ELO ratings basically estimate team strength based on past results, right? Higher is better.
Exactly. And then if we look at the Poisson model, which predicts goals based on attack and defense records, Athletic also looks stronger there. Expected goals, or XG, of 1.52 for them, compared to 1.06 for Getafe.
Interesting. So even without Inaki, the model sees Athletic as having more attacking potential.
That's what it suggests, yeah.
Which kind of makes sense. Bilbao usually have a solid underlying structure. Even with players out, they can grind out results.
True.
What about the Monte Carlo simulations? You ran thousands of those, right? What scorelines pop up most often?
Yeah, we ran 10,000 simulations. The most common result, a 1-1 draw, that came up 13.83% of the time.
Okay, a draw. What else?
After that, 1-or Getafe win was next at 12.2%, and then a 0-1 Athletic win at 11.33%.
So pretty tight outcomes. What about the overall win-draw-win probabilities?
Looking overall, the AI gives Athletic a 47.32% chance of winning away. A draw is at 25.09%. And a Getafe home win is 27.59%.
So, yeah, an edge for Bilbao, but definitely not nailed on.
Not at all.
It's interesting, though, that the single most likely score is that 1-1 draw, even if Athletic have the higher overall win chance. Can we break down the individual AI models? Do they all agree?
This is where it gets interesting. Our random forest model, that actually predicts a draw.
Okay.
But both the XG Boost model and the MLP neural network lean towards an away win for Athletic.
Right, so different algorithms, slightly different takes. XG Boost is powerful, neural networks are complex.
Exactly. But then when we combine all these into our stacked ensemble, which kind of weighs each model's prediction, it actually nudges the final prediction back towards a draw.
Huh. So the AI is giving us a pretty nuanced picture here. What does that split usually tell you?
Well, when you see that kind of disagreement, it often points to a game that's likely tighter, maybe more unpredictable than just looking at ELO ratings might
Yeah.
suggest. The AI is picking up on that instability. Getafe's defense weakened, athletics attack less direct without Inaki. It suggests the result could genuinely swing.
Okay, so for listeners maybe interested in potential betting angles, purely informational, of course, what insights can we draw?
Well, given those tight margins and the draw being highlighted, under 2.5 goals seems like a strong consideration.
Makes sense. Low scoring feels likely.
Yeah. But I still think both teams to score. BTTS, yes, has a decent shot. Despite Inaki being out, Athletics should still have enough quality to find the net.
And Getafe at home?
Exactly. Getafe at home can always cause problems. Maybe rely more on set pieces without Gene and open play, but they could score.
So maybe low scoring, but potentially 1-1.
It's plausible. For a safer approach, maybe a double chance, draw or Athletic win looks sensible.
Okay.
And for correct scores, well, the simulation's pointing to 1-1 or 0-1 Athletic win as the most likely.
Fascinating stuff. Now, before we move on, I heard there's a, let's say, unique story about Getafe's past. Gives a bit of insight into their club spirit.
Yes. Well, since we're talking Getafe and maybe their unorthodox approach, we have to mention something from 2011.
Okay.
They were struggling with low attendances, trying to get more fans in. And their solution was, well, it wasn't exactly typical marketing.
Oh, I think I vaguely remember this. Something about an adult film.
You got it. They launched a campaign around a porn film called Zombies Calientes de Getafe. Hot Zombies of Getafe.
No.
Seriously. The, let's say, unusual logic was encouraging fans to become sperm donors, to reproduce more Getafe supporters.
Wow. That is certainly one way to boost fan numbers.
It was part publicity stunt, part just sheer craziness. Definitely got people talking.
I bet. It does kind of highlight that Getafe isn't afraid to be different, maybe a bit disruptive. Perhaps that same spirit makes them tough opponents at home.
Exactly. They might have defensive issues now, but that fighting spirit, that willingness to be a bit chaotic, could still trouble Athletic.
Right.
Okay, well, moving on from Hot Zombies, let's head north to San Sebastian. Real Sociedad versus Girona FC. This one looks like a cracker too, European implications for both.
Absolutely. And a really interesting tactical battle. You've got Sociedad disciplined, possession-based. Against Girona, dynamic, explosive, but maybe a bit erratic sometimes.
Yeah, a real clash of styles. And the weather sounds perfect for attacking football. Clear skies, mild temperature, light wind.
Ideal conditions. But, like the first game, injuries are a factor here too. Let's start with Real Sociedad.
Okay, who are they missing?
They've got issues in attack. Geraldo Becker, Arsene Zakarian, and Ori Oskarsson are all likely out.
Oof. That hits their depth up front. Becker's pace, Zakarian's creativity, Oskarsson's finishing, those are big losses.
Definitely significant losses for their rotation and options in the final third. Puts more pressure on, like you said before, Surloth and Kubo, perhaps. And Girona. Are they missing key players, too?
Yeah, they've got their own worries. Donny van de Beek is expected to miss out. Miguel Gutierrez has an ankle problem.
Yeah.
Gabriel Mizahu, a thigh issue.
Okay. Gutierrez, he's their attacking left back, isn't he? Losing him would weaken that flank going forward.
Yeah, he provides a real outlet with those overlapping runs and crosses. His absence would be felt.
So again, both teams dealing with key absences. Could shape things tactically. What are the AI predictions saying for this one? ELO and Poisson first.
Right, ELO ratings. Real Sociedad have a slight edge, 1546.34 versus Girona's 1517.77, so closer than the first match.
Okay.
But interestingly, the Poisson model for expected goals actually gives Girona a slightly higher XG, 1.83 for them, compared to Sociedad's 1.59.
Oh, that is interesting. Girona with the higher XG, they certainly can score goals when they click.
They definitely have that attacking threat, but the XG figures are pretty close, within the margin of error, really.
Gotcha. What about the Monte Carlo simulations for this game? Likely scores.
Again, 10,000 simulations run, and again, it suggests a close game, most likely score, 1-1 draw, popping up 9.35% of the time.
Another 1-1. Okay, what's next, most likely?
Close behind are a 1-2 away win for Girona at 9.02%, and then a 2-1 home win for Real Sociedad at 7.5%.
Wow, really tight probabilities between those top outcomes.
Yeah.
What about the overall win percentages?
Overall, Sociedad gets a 43.57% chance for a home win. Girona gets 35.01% for the away win, and the draw comes in at 21.42%.
So a slight lean towards Sociedad at home, but Girona very much in the running, according to the Sims.
Definitely, it looks tight.
But what's really striking here, you mentioned, is the agreement among the individual AI models, right? Unlike the Getafe game.
Yeah, exactly. This is quite unusual. For Sociedad versus Girona, basically all our main models are pointing the same way. Random Forest predicts a home win.
Okay.
XGBoost predicts a home win. The MLP neural network predicts a home win. And the stacked ensemble, combining them all, also strongly points to a home win for Real Sociedad.
Whoa! That's a strong consensus, despite Girona's slightly higher XG in the Poisson.
Yes. It suggests there's a really strong underlying pattern in the data, maybe form, home advantage, the specific impact of the injuries that's pushing all the different models towards a Sociedad victory.
That's quite compelling when different AI approaches all land on the same conclusion. It suggests something more robust than just one model's opinion.
Precisely. When you see that kind of alignment, it often means multiple factors are converging in the data pointing towards that outcome.
Okay, so based on that strong AI consensus, what potential betting angles might listeners consider? Again, just for info.
Well, given that strong model agreement, backing Real Sociedad to win seems like a, reasonable angle to look at.
Makes sense.
However,
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely consider both teams to score. Yes, as well.
Ah, interesting. Even with Sociedad favored.
Yeah. Girona have shown they can score away from home consistently. And with Sociedad's attack slightly weakened by injuries, they might actually need more than one goal to win this.
Good point.
And it's worth remembering, Girona actually score first in 41% of their away games. They often start fast on the road.
Okay, so Sociedad win, but maybe not to nil. BTTS looks like a key consideration. What about a safer option?
For more security, draw no bet on Real Sociedad as an option. Protects against the draw.
Right.
And given that 1-1 was the top Monte Carlo score, maybe a small hedge on that correct score could make sense too.
And maybe a slightly higher risk one.
Higher risk. Maybe a 2-1 correct score for Sociedad, especially someone like Takefusa Kubo gets going early for them.
Some really good angles there. Sounds like while the AI strongly favors Sociedad, Girona's threat means it might not be straightforward.
Absolutely. Sociedad have this statistical edge according to the models, but you definitely can't underestimate Girona's firepower. Informed choices, looking at value, that's the way.
Okay, great stuff. We've dug deep into both these La Liga clashes. Let's just pull together the key takeaways from Getafe versus Athletic Bilbao and Real Sociedad versus Girona.
Yeah, I think the main thing is just how crucial context is, isn't it? The AI predictions are super valuable, a great starting point, but things like injuries, current form, even the weather, they all significantly shape what actually happens. These two games really show the variety in the Liga.
Definitely.
Getafe Bilbao feels like a tight, probably low-scoring grind, heavily influenced by those defensive gaps for Getafe and Inaki's absence for Bilbao.
Right.
Whereas Sociedad Girona looks potentially more open, maybe more goals, even though both sides have attacking injuries, just different dynamics.
Totally agree. It highlights the nuances beautifully. Now, for listeners maybe thinking about a small wager, informational purposes only, what's a key bit of betting wisdom from all this?
I'd say, especially for games like these where models suggest tight margins or low scores,
Yeah.
don't just chase the win bet. Look for value elsewhere.
Like where?
Markets like both teams to score, draw no bet, maybe correct scores, often better odds there, especially when picking an outright winner is tricky.
Good advice.
And always, always practice responsible bankroll management.
Yeah.
That 2% rule, never bet more than 2% of your total bankroll on one bet, is a really sensible guideline.
Absolutely crucial. Okay, final thought then as we wrap up. Thinking about these games, the different predictions, the impact of missing players, how much does tactical discipline and team structure actually outweigh individual brilliance in these close contests?
Ooh, that's a great question. Really gets to the heart of football tactics, doesn't it?
Something for you all to ponder as you watch the games. We'd love to hear your thoughts, too. Share your predictions for Getafe Bilbao and Sociedad Girona in the comments. Let us know any informational bets you're considering. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Be sure to subscribe for more deep dives and AI insights.
Until next time, enjoy the football.